Man's best friend is not just a phrase, and the story of a despondent dog found on a road is a testament to this. Despite being alone and in need, the dog declined to accompany the rescuers. It was not until the reason behind the dog's reluctance was discovered that emotions ran high, bringing people to tears. From various corners of the world, countless narratives exist about dogs exhibiting unwavering devotion towards their owners in different circumstances. However, a certain canine in Russia managed to capture the affections of all who encountered his story. The account dates back to 1995 and took place in Tolyatti, a city in the Samara Oblast region of Russia. The day had started off quite normally for one family, which consisted of a man, a woman, and their pet German Shepherd pup. The couple had recently bought the puppy as they both loved dogs and thought that he would be a great addition to their little family. As well as that, the dog would also give them more motivation to get out of the house and into nature. Often the trio would do lots of things together. They would go on walks to all of the local parks and around the city, and the man and a woman were more than happy to jump in the car with their canine to go for hikes further afield. It seemed as if they were the perfect little family, but then something happened that nobody expected. One day, a local resident was driving along the road when on the side of the road he noticed a German Shepherd dog. As he got closer, the dog seemed to perk up at the side of his car and even ran along next to it for a time before slowing down and returning to its original spot on the side of the road. This continued to happen for the rest of the day. Then the next day, when the same local resident was driving along the same stretch of road, he noticed the pup again. Every day the man drove down that particular stretch of road, the dog was always there, and every time he drove past the animal, it would chase after his car, before giving up and returning to its usual spot. This continued to happen for weeks, until one day the man decided to pull over. He was curious what the dog was doing, and wanted to get a closer look at the animal. As the man approached the pup, the animal wasn't aggressive towards him at all. In fact, the dog happily let the man get close to him and start giving him a fuss. After a few moments, the man decided that he was going to help this little pup, as he clearly had no one looking after him. But as the man tried to guide the dog back to his car, the animal suddenly became very stubborn and refused to move. This confused the local as he was trying to get the canine off of the roadside and into better living conditions, possibly with a loving family. But the dog didn't seem interested at all. Why was this canine being so stubborn? What could he possibly be waiting for? Seeing as the dog wasn't going to get in the car willingly, the man decided to leave him on the side of the road. However, he did promise the animal that he would come back the next day with some food. As he promised, the man returned the next day with some food for the pup, who gladly ate it all. The man thought that perhaps if he could gain the animal's trust over a few days, the dog might want to go home with him. However, try as he might, the man just couldn't convince the canine to leave his spot. Soon enough, as time went by, more and more people began to notice the strange dog on the side of the road and wonder where he came from. Countless kind people would pull over and offer the dog food. Some would try to convince him to go home with him, and when that didn't work, they would return to build little shelters for the canine to sleep in. But still, no one knew why the dog was so intent on waiting at the side of the road. Seeing how the dog seemed to be waiting for something or someone, people began to call him Kostya, or Faithful. They didn't know his true name, but these ones seemed to fit him perfectly, as he was being extremely loyal to the people who had apparently abandoned him. One day someone decided that they didn't want the pup to linger on the road any longer, as they were worried for his health and safety, so they managed to pick him up and get him into their car. From there, the people hoped that they would be able to adopt Kostya and that he would be happy with a new family to love and care for him. However, it wasn't meant to be. The dog stayed in the house for a few days, but the entire time that he was there, he was deeply depressed. The poor canine would constantly sit at the front door, uninterested in bonding with his new family, only leaving his spot for food. Finally, after a couple of days, the German Shepherd managed to escape his home and returned straight to his spot on the roadside. Years passed by and the loyal dog didn't leave his spot by the road for the entire time. In the snow and rain, in any weather and any time of year, Kostya was always in his spot, waiting and running up to all of the passing vehicles, hoping that his owners would come back to him. Everyone who traveled on that road always saw Kostya running along the roadside or resting quietly on the grass. The citizens became very fond of Kostya and turned his story into a living legend. Stories about the dog were published throughout Russia. Eventually, after a lot of asking around and years of guessing, the true story about why Kostya was sitting on the side of the road was discovered. It turned out that Kostya was the same German shepherd who had originally been living with the couple at the start of this story. One day, the small family had been driving on the road, making their way back home after a day out of hiking nearby when suddenly the unthinkable happened. They got into a car crash. The woman sadly passed away at the scene, and the man was rushed to the nearby hospital where he passed away only a few hours later. Kostya was the only one to survive the crash. The loyal dog returned to the site of the accident in the hopes that one day his owners would come back to him. The poor pup didn't understand that they hadn't left him by choice, but that they had been unfortunately taken from him too soon. The dog remained in his spot on the road until 7 years later. In 2002, he sadly passed away as well from natural causes. Saddened by the loss of the dog, the city decided to erect a monument in his honor. At first, a homemade billboard was put up with the words, "Dog teach us love and devotion," written on it. But it was often blown away by the wind and vandalized. Seeing these issues, the city then decided to make a bronze statue of the pup made by the sculptor Oleg so that he would forever be remembered for the good boy that he was. The statue stands about 1.5 meters or 4.9 feet tall, and it's set on a granite pedestal at the intersection of South Highway and Lev Yesin Street in Tolyatti City. Over the years, Kostya's tale has gained immense popularity, leading to the memorial becoming a favored spot for newlyweds. A tradition has emerged wherein couples rub the statue's nose as a symbol of their commitment and to wish for a joyful and healthy life together. So frequently has this been performed that Kostya's nose has become polished, a testament to the immense love and admiration for this remarkable and devoted dog. This story is undoubtedly sorrowful, but it emphasizes that our pets offer us unconditional love, and therefore, they merit the same level of affection and consideration in return. Please share your thoughts on this tale in the comments section. Statues have existed for centuries, preserving numerous historical events and individuals. Interestingly, there are also several well-known dog statues around the world, showcasing the loyalty of these animals. If you're interested, I can share another heartwarming tale about a faithful dog. Let me know in the comments below. I hope you liked this video, then please share it with others and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay up to date on all our latest videos. Thank you for watching.